Okay, first item on the agenda is the closed session portion of the meeting. May I have a mover and seconder to go into closed session under the authorities as printed in the agenda? Councillor Smith. Councillor Brand. All in favor? All hands rising, motion's carried. Okay, rising from closed session, council discussed senior of the year nominations, personal matters regarding an identifiable individual and matters under solicitor client privilege. Time being 7 p.m. I'd like to call this meeting to order. First item on the agenda is the traditional territory acknowledgement, followed by a moment of silence. Council of the Township of Red Rock hereby acknowledges that we are on the traditional territory of the Robinson Superior Treaty and that the land we gather on is home to the Red Rock Indian Band, the Anishinaabe, and Métis people. Administration advises that there are no additions to the agenda. Do any members of council wish to make amendments to the agenda? Okay, seeing none, can I have a mover and seconder for motion to approve the agenda as presented? Councillor Gladden. Councillor Smith. All in favor? Are there any declarations of interest to disclose? Okay, seeing none. Okay, tonight we have Dan Bevilacqua from Superior Country. Did I say that correctly? I hope so. Here to present the Interpretive Center report. Good evening, Dan.
Hello.
Welcome.
Sorry for missing the last one. I had a backup because I was sick and then she woke up sick. So I figured instead of spreading it around to all of you, we would stay home and reschedule. So thank you so much for allowing us to do that. As part of the Superior Country Agreement with the Township, we are to provide an annual report. Said report was provided in April. So I figured I would just go through some of the items in it with you. And then if you have any questions, I'd be happy to answer them. On page 1 of the report, you'll actually see our key performance indicators, what we use to track progress. What we were tracking based on the agreement was visitors to the building. I did watch the last council meeting, and to answer one of the questions that was raised, it's not, we're not tracking people coming for meetings, but rather visitors utilizing the building, and visitors can also mean locals. Unfortunately, the township itself wasn't tracking total visitors before we came along. And then when we took over operations for the off season in October, we started tracking. That kind of poses a problem moving forward as we have no previous numbers to really compare to and set targets and so on and so forth. So I'm hoping that Superior Country and the township can work together to ensure that we're both tracking those types of numbers. Also during some of the summer times, we've noticed obviously each municipality is suffering with short staff, but there's also instances where there's no staff in the building when a visitor comes in, and luckily we're around and we're walking around and we'll help those individuals. But those again are people that wouldn't be tracked, and nobody's trying to sell anything to those people or tell them to go down to the businesses. The staff here are great and they run in when they can, when they notice somebody, but sometimes that goes unnoticed. So we try to step in when we can. But as we collect this data, you'll see the report kind of alter and change where charts can be included and developed. And then what we can also do is we can work with the township to actually set goals and targets for ourselves in increasing visitation to Red Rock, get more people off the highway and into town, into the interpretive centers, so your staff, our staff can push our businesses and have people spend more money in Red Rock. Throughout the report, you'll notice a lot of dollar signs and investment that Superior Country has made into Red Rock. I just want to make a special note that all of these items are above and beyond the typical membership and advertising that Red Rock does with Superior Country. All of these items that are reported on in this report are specifically due to the agreement. It's all above and beyond that membership and advertising and the other things that we do together. So you'll see on pages 3 and 4 that Superior Country ran about $6,000 in digital advertisements for the township over the span of the year. Some of these advertisements, we really won't see the effect of them until this summer, specifically the Lake Superior Circle Tour headquarter advertisements. The biggest challenge that we've seen in Red Rock and that we hear from multiple communities along the lake is that if you're off of the highway, it's hard to get individuals to turn. By running advertisements like this, we're actually ensuring that Red Rock is a part of the decision-making process of any traveler. Just putting a sign up on the highway saying turn here does not get people to turn. A very small amount, yes, but it needs to be a part of a much larger program. So advertisements like these really help with that. Moving on in the report, you'll also see that we mentioned some organic posts on page 5. These types of things we're able to do as Superior Country because we're located here now. So if we're outside, in one instance, we've seen a bear in a tree, we're able to take those pictures. Actually, just last week, we had an eagle for 2 days at the end of the boardwalk. So I took a live video of that. We're able to get those items onto our social media. Superior Country has a very large social media following between Superior Country and the Circle Tour. So posts like this are very good at increasing reach and increasing awareness with travelers and making Red Rock a part of their plans. Organic posts are also extremely good at reminding your locals what is here. So an example of that is we actually shot and edited a video for the gift shop just before Christmas. And we just did that as Superior Country. And we posted that through our Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. And that brought people in and they bought Christmas gifts. And when we actually spoke to them, they didn't even think of it until they've seen the video. So it's nice to see those things kind of work. The biggest thing is this allows the town to take advantage of our reach. If the town were to try to do some of these things on their own, it takes up administration time, which is extremely valuable. We all know that. We are all so busy. But the other thing that allows you to do is take advantage of our following, and the township just can't compete with the following that we have because it's all been gained through the advertising dollars that we spend. On page 6, you'll see some information about the open house barbecue that Superior Country held here at the Interpretive Center. This was an extremely successful event. Superior Country spent about $2,000 locally buying food and desserts and all that, and we opened it up to everybody, and it was a free night. And while the town was gracious enough to say no charge to do so, and this was great, we did actually donate $500 back to the town for that night as well. So we were very happy about that. We had over 300 people attend. And what that event was extremely good for, really, I wanted it to, we're Superior Country, tell people who we are, but it got so busy that I couldn't even talk to anybody. I think if any of you were here, I was just running around like crazy. However, what that did is it really increased your VFR market, your visiting friends and relatives market. The Interpretive Center had been closed for 2 years. By us hosting that open house, we were able to have your locals attend, and then it reminded them of the Interpretive Center, or reminded them of what was in the Interpretive Center. So then you actually had them later on in the year when they had their visiting friends and family, they were bringing them back. And then even during the summer, when we did manage to talk to people, we did hear that was an effect, and then throughout the winter as well. So we were very happy with that. On page 7, you'll also see that Superior Country has made quite a bit of investment in signage, specifically to do with the Lake Superior Circle Tour headquarters and promoting the township of Red Rock as the Lake Superior Circle Tour headquarters here at the Interpretive Center. So we updated 3 kiosks in the region. We moved one from Nipigon to Red Rock that you can see out in the parking lot. And we updated the 2 others, one being at the Terry Fox Monument and the other being at the Wawa Goose, to show the Interpretive Center on the panels as the Lake Superior Circle Tour headquarters. We have also invested in 2 billboards that we plan on putting on the highway to encourage travelers to turn and visit the Lake Superior Circle Tour headquarters. Now, I said earlier that billboards don't always make people turn. This is a part of that much larger program. We're advertising us as a Circle Tour headquarters. We're saying that it's in Red Rock. We're trying to get them to make us Red Rock a part of their trip. And then they're going to see that signage and remember, oh yeah, this is where I got to turn. So it's a part of a much larger marketing campaign. On page 8, it goes into a little bit more detail on the Lake Superior Circle Tour headquarters and the benefits of being a stamp location for the Circle Tour. Again, this ensures your highway turnoff. Stamps each year, we have in the past and at different locations, we typically give out 300 stamps a year. However, each stamp on average represents 2 travelers, in some cases even more. In one case, we gave 1 stamp to a group of 16 motorcyclists that were collecting them to gain their certificate for their clubhouse. So it varies by number of individuals, but the stamp program is very successful. And then we have also, the Lake Superior Circle Tour is also referenced by many of the other communities all the way around the lake as being #1 tourism driver for them, even those that are located off of the highway. What this program really does is it allows Red Rock to take advantage of being that headquarters. There's more of a chance while you advertise in the Circle Tour already, while we already advertise Red Rock as part of the Circle Tour, by having it as the headquarters in the stamp location, you're actually increasing your ability to bring those people off the highway. As such, just last week, we had, I believe it was 9 students and 1 teacher from the University of Ashland come to the interpretive center, and they all went through the interpretive center. They were collecting their stamps and they were going back to the university to report on doing the Lake Superior Circle Tour. Those are individuals that specifically came down off of the highway because of what we were doing. This one's kind of interesting because it's kind of against our norm. We had a group of 5 young millennials who were students, university students, doing the Circle Tour for their spring break. They came in March and they all collected their stamps and they were doing the Circle Tour in March. So that was very good to see. And then alone today, I didn't even have it in my notes, but today we also had 6 people come in for their stamp locations as well. And these are all during times that the interpretive center and the marina would be closed before May long. So very happy with that outcome. On page 9 is a little bit of information for you. Superior Country is here to help. And I want to remind council and Red Rock staff of that. We're marketing experts, we're product development experts, self-proclaimed product development experts. We try our best. I hate claiming to be something, but we are pretty darn good. One of the things though, we're here to help when we're needed. So a good example of that was the Red Rock Mountain Trail volunteer cleanup day. The township was in a bit of a jam where a staff person wasn't able to host that event, and there was a little bit of funding, as we understood, behind it. And Superior Country stood up and said that, yeah, we'll help. Mark called and said, is there anything you could do or anybody you could suggest? And we said, well, we'll do it for you. And we were able to host that day and make sure that it went without a hitch. So again, we're always here. I can't promise I'll do everything, but I'll definitely try to help wherever Superior Country can. On page 10, and there's a little bit of information on visitors during the off season. So we had about 260 visitors in the off season and about $1,000 in sales put through your POS system during the off season. That number would be higher. However, it was quite a bit. Some of the displays and interactive things in the interpretive center weren't working, so we couldn't rightfully charge for those individuals to go through. So a lot of people ended up going through for free. We also see a lot of opportunity to grow. A good example of that also was there was one weekend this winter where they were doing the dirt bike races out on the ice, and I didn't know it was happening until after it had already happened. If we would have known, Superior Country could work with the town to make sure that the building's open during those times, or if there's an evening event or something like that, Superior Country staff can look at coming in, opening up the shop and things of that, and getting more people into the building. So we're always open to work with the town to grow visitation to the building. And then, of course, it just goes on to say Superior Country staff continue to shop and dine locally. We have quite a bit of business meetings here, different tourism entities, different organizations, different municipality staff reps coming and meeting with us. We end up purchasing lunch and doing all that kind of stuff, or bringing them out for lunch and showing them the town of Red Rock and things of that nature as well. On page 11, you'll kind of see a breakdown. So in less than a year, Superior Country has invested over $32,000 in attracting visitors to Red Rock. That's actual Superior Country dollars being invested in that. This is because we operate here in a building that's open to visitors. That's what allows us to spend those dollars on doing so. Again, all of this is above and beyond your current membership. So I just want to make that clear, because as a member, you're mentioned in several different articles and you get links, but a lot of those advertisements that you've seen are directly related to Red Rock. Mostly we sell social media marketing packages at $1,000 each to different municipalities. That's what those types of things usually cost. And then they only get 200 spend. But we did spend quite a bit on digital advertising, and we're happy to do so. And we've started seeing the results, and we're really looking forward to seeing the results this summer. That's when a lot of this will go into place, especially with all the advertisements within the printed Lake Superior Circle Tour. We put a full page ad for the interpretive center in there. All of those items, we will start to see the value this summer. On page 12, the last page, you will also see that what we're planning to do in the next year, the investments that we're planning on doing, and it's another additional $32,000 investment. That doesn't include any digital advertisements. So that will bring us above and beyond that figure as well. I also see different opportunities to work with the town to possibly save the township dollars in taking on more responsibilities down here if possible, doing anything that we can with the township to possibly help. We're always open to discussions. Superior Country currently is happy with the agreement as is, but again, as always, we're always open to communicate any other ideas. We are extremely thankful, and I'd just open it up to any questions if anybody has any.
Thanks, Dan. Does anyone have any questions or comments on Dan's report? Councillor Brand?
Just like to know any date as to when the Norval Morso will be put up?
We are anticipating this summer, likely in July. I think we actually have a meeting with Mark and Ashley scheduled to walk the boardwalk and determine the best location. So we are anticipating in August or by August, and then we're hoping to actually host another open house barbecue with that, and in conjunction with the launch, because we actually plan on inviting some people to that launch. One of the surviving family members or surviving group of 7 members, or Indigenous group of 7 members, sorry, and MPs, things of that nature. So we're trying to get it all in one, and that would be held in August. So definitely by then is the target.
Councillor Smith?
Do you have any plans for around Canada Day?
As Superior Country itself, no. Sounds like you're going somewhere with that, though.
No, you said numerous times how you want to do more and help more and be more part. I know Canada is coming up. I just didn't know if there was any conversations around that, especially when I think in the past it's always been here.
So currently the township is responsible under the existing agreement. The township's responsible for the operations of the interpretive center during regular season. But definitely, if we can assist in any way, please reach out. It's a little bit difficult when it comes towards stat holidays because I'm a not-for-profit and I don't have money for overtime. But I actually offer my staff hours in lieu for volunteering for certain items that align with the goals and the mission of Superior Country. So there might be something we can do.
No other questions or comments? Well, thank you, Dan. We do appreciate everything you do for the Township of Red Rock. The marketing that you do for us, you know, we don't have the time for it, but we do appreciate that, and you do an excellent job. And thank you for, you know, being here and having all those. It was quite fascinating getting that information on those people just coming in the last few months. So that's great to hear. Thanks. Okay, the minutes of the last regular meeting, May 1st, are at items 5.1 of the agenda. Are there any errors or omissions to note? Councillor Brandt.
I'm just curious about the page numbering. I know you said last time Edmund was going to look into that, and I wonder if there's any outcome from that.
I mean, at this point, it's errors and omissions. I mean, page numbers. We made it, there's a reason with the page numbers aren't on it, and it's filing mostly in the office too. So again, at this point, the question is errors or omissions. So but there will not be page numbers in the report. No. Yeah, there was, and we made a change for that. Yeah. Yeah. Again, it's an internal decision.
Okay, can I have a mover and seconder for motion to approve the minutes at items 5.1? Councillor Gladden. Councillor Smith. All in favor? All hands rising, motion's carried. Okay, we have no resolutions from other municipalities to review, so we can move on. Item 6.2, information purposes only regarding an update from DSAP board. Do any members of the council have any remarks on this item? Oh, sorry. Yep, health unit. Oh, you said library board? Sorry. No. Nobody has any questions or comments? No? Sorry. Okay, seeing none, next item 6.3. Information purposes only relating to the open and closed session minutes from the DSAP board meeting. The home sweet home. One second. What's that?
Sorry, 6.2 would be the health unit. 6.3 is the Ontario renovates from DSAP.
Okay, so 6.3, information purposes only relating to the Ontario renovates home sweet home. Information. Do any members of council have any remarks on this item? Councillor Gladden.
I'm just wondering, has this been posted on the bulletin board? I don't know if I remember seeing it.
I
Yeah.
believe we did
Oh, sorry.
share it on social media as well.
I believe it. I know it was shared on social media. I will double check on the bulletin board, but for sure.
Okay, next item 6.4, information purposes only relating to the locate charge, Bill 93. Update from Enbridge. Do any members of council have any remarks? It is some clarification on us supporting Shunya's resolution last meeting. Okay, seeing none. Next item 6.5 is information purposes only relating to NOMA, seeking expressions of interest. Nonprofit organizations wishing to create. No, it's not. Yeah. It's just the spring meeting and conference agenda. Any members of council have any remarks on it? Which is passed anyways, right? Mark, did you attend any of this?
Yes, I did. I actually attended both days. So it was some really good sessions.
Okay, next item 7.1 are minutes from the Red Rock Public Library meeting, April 18th. Do any members of council have any questions? Okay, seeing none, can I have a mover and seconder for motion to receive the minutes? Councillor Gladden, Councillor Brand. All in favor? All hands rising, motion's carried. Okay, next up, report from Director of Operations. Welcome, Blair. Do any members of council have any questions of Mr. Westerman? Councillor Brand?
Just one question, for the recreation center, you had some damages to the outdoor receptacles and that. What was the cause of the damage?
I think they'd actually been damaged for a while. It's
Okay.
just.
Normal wear and tear?
Yeah,
or-
just the age of the building.
Okay.
just some-
Thank you.
Do you have an update at all with the lift station?
Just,
Like the scope that was sent to
yeah,
Agus?
just what I put in the report. So Hatch is waiting on Agus to put a quote together at this point.
Any other, Councillor Smith?
There were no issues with the hydrants for you said you completed the tests on May 2nd there, so no issues, everything's good.
No, everything's good. Typically this time of year, they're not freezing or anything, but
No,
we
no,
do
good.
have that one hydrant repair that we have to take care of.
Any other comments or questions? Okay, can I have a mover and seconder for motion to receive the report? Councillor Brand, Councillor Gladden. All in favor? All hands rising, motion's carried. Thank you, Blair.
You're welcome.
Okay, 8.2 is a report from the Community Development Officer. Welcome, Ashley.
Good evening.
So do any members have any questions or comments, or would Ashley just like to give a little highlight? Councillor Smith?
Well, do the highlight first and I'll ask a question after.
Just a couple updates on a couple of the items that are included in my summary of activity. The recreation center project will be tendered out May 27th, so we're moving ahead with that. The active transportation fund, a community survey will be going out this Friday. for community members to provide their input. There will be online versions as well as paper versions that people will be able to access throughout the community, the municipal office, the library, and I'm planning on dropping off a couple hard copies at the credit union to be dropped off at the municipal office. We'll have a Dropbox there. We're doing a site inspection walkthrough with Burnside, the 25th and 26th. So they will be around town for those days, taking a look at all of our sidewalks, boardwalks, that type of infrastructure. Our infrastructure green project, ICIP Green, was the Brompton and relining project. So the warranty period ends November of 2023. We do have a couple deficiency items. They tend to like to do those towards the end of the warranty period, so do everything at once. Paving of all of the patches on Newton, Frost, and Stadler would be done when I think Stranis is paving the highway. So when the 4-laning is being done, the pavement will be in the area, then they'll come and do Red Rock at that time. So that's the plan. So that wouldn't be done until closer towards the end of the summer. Hopefully in time for the Rouse and Stadler manhole replacement. So those should align quite nicely. Other than that, the recreation center roof project is part of that overall tender going out on May 27th. The strategic plan implementation that was a request from council at last meeting with my report is attached. And then the Trillium Foundation Capital Stream is a 100% funded project up to $150,000. So we would be looking for potential partnership funds with other organizations to help boost that budget. I've been doing some preliminary discussions with various playground companies for rough cost estimates. And our big issue is going to be site prep because it's a low-lying area. But it's not out of the question to get something done for that amount of money. So,
And that location would be down here.
between the tennis courts and the pool. So there is discussions with Marine Conservation Area and Destination Northern Ontario to do the interpretation plan first, and building off of the interpretation plan to reinforce the playground down here with interpretation with recreation components.
Councillor Smith.
It wasn't in your report. I just kind of have a question because you're the grants person. I know before we talked about and we lost website upgrades and updates, and these kind of stem from the strategic plan where they also talk about websites and updates, and although some content on our website has been updated, I do know it needs to be revamped. I just didn't know if there's any more grants available for that yet, or if we looked into those.
I haven't come across anything yet. I do get several emails that come through from various organizations providing updates of all of the grants that are available. There hasn't been anything yet. There is there's been a look at revamping the municipal modernization program, whether it's the third-party review stage or the implementation review stage. We're still waiting to hear back on which one they're looking to actually release again. We would be looking at the implementation phase. So with the plan that was presented to us from MNP Digital, it's a multi-stage process, which is a large amount of money for what we'd be looking to do. So for the municipality, we can do some of the internal stuff to help prepare us for when that funding stream does become available for the actual implementation part.
Yeah, I just want to remind council that we really should be sticking to what's in the reports. Okay. Okay. Just in case somebody might complain that something was discussed and it wasn't on the agenda, they can say they weren't prepared. They would have come to the meetings.
So it is an ongoing item within the strategic plan implementation status follow-up. So that second from the right column is our current status and updates. So it is on the board. We do have, so the timing that was provided in the implementation plan is kind of like ideal situation goals. So some of those items do tend to get worked on in the background. So what I've provided in the current status update is kind of what's been done what's been worked on since we've developed the strategic plan.
Great, thank you. Any other questions or comments? I don't have any. Okay. Is there a mover and seconder for motion to receive the report? Councillor Smith? Oh, Councillor Glad.
Just the acronym DNO.
Destination Northern Ontario.
Okay, it just, thank you.
Okay, Councillor Smith? Mover and seconder to receive the report? Councillor Gladden? All in favor? One's rising, motion's carried. Thank you. Okay, item 8.3 is a report on administrative activities. Do any members of council have questions of Mr. Figlamini? Yep, you could ask him.
All right, then I do have a question.
Councillor Smith.
For the recreation, knowing what I was in the library board meeting just the other day as well. Is there communication between the library and our rec staff? I only like for planning events to ensure that events that target the same demographic held separately aren't held at the same time, which would affect, and I only say that because during the library, it was brought up that one rec program was run targeted for seniors that the library gets a grant for, and it's based on numbers, and future grants could be based on past numbers, and due to the fact that them being held at the exact same time greatly affected their numbers. I know it was alleviated a couple days into the event, but it still affected. I think the past it used to be 300 people, and this time it was 75. So there was a huge difference.
Yeah, the short answer is I hope so. The long answer is yes. I mean, I know the incident you're talking about, and it was brought to my attention right away, which we tried our best to alleviate that situation. There was some scheduling around why that the one program it was kind of a specific time around somebody's day-to-day schedule who was running the program. So yeah, we were quick to act on it, but I mean, it did happen in that case, and yeah, we'll do our best that it doesn't happen again. But again, we did correct it quite quickly.
Awesome, thank you.
Councillor Smith?
Sorry. They state that they have badminton going strong. Is it, I saw that it was canceled. It was only canceled for one night and it's still carrying on, or is it for badminton on Mondays?
Again, I don't really handle the badminton part. I believe it was just the one night, but I could get you a confirmation. I believe it was canceled for just recently. But again, I can get you an answer to that. I don't have it today, sorry.
Any other questions or comments? Okay, seeing none, is there a mover and seconder for motion to receive the report? Councillor Gladden. Is there a seconder? Councillor Smith. All in favor? All hands rising, motion's carried. Okay, next item 8.4 is a report on the declaration of surplus property. Do any members of council have any questions? Okay, seeing none, is there a mover and seconder for a motion to declare the following property as surplus 24 Rankin Street, roll number 5841-000-000-011-00. Counselor Gladden. There's a second, Counselor Smith. All in favor? All hands rising, motion's carried. That would be the old community garden, which after discussions with the beautification committee has not been usable or viable for quite some time. Okay, next item, 8.5, information purposes only relating to the report on the current levels of service within the Red Rock Fire Department. Everyone has the report. Is there any questions? Need any clarifications on the report? Councilor Gladden.
Yeah, I just, I agree with the recommendation brought forward.
And we'll bring a bylaw of an updating bylaw to the next meeting. This is more for direction of council, but this is then what will be built in and updated in the old bylaw. So the levels of service are listed on the back in that case, and again on the front for fire prevention services. So this will be what we use moving forward.
Okay, moving on. Items at 11.1 under unfinished business. Are there any questions of administration on that? No, seeing none. Okay, next item is a bylaw to confirm proceedings of council. Can I have a mover and seconder for motion to pass the bylaw? Councillor Brand. Councillor Gladden. All in favor? All hands rising, motion's carried. Okay, time being 7:41. There's no further business to attend to. The meeting is adjourned. Thank you, everyone. Have a good night.